fun at Jazzahead 2025, and with me here is a new and coming artist from the UK, Henry Spencer. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. How are you doing?
Henry, what are you doing here at Jazzahead?
I've got a showcase, so I'm performing a showcase tomorrow night with my band coming from London.
So who's your band?
The band is four of us. It's quartet. So we've got Ant Law on guitar, Jamie Murray on drums. Tomorrow it's Rob Rockway on piano and keyboard. And it's all music that I've written, including music from the latest album that we're going to perform.
We know that the jazz scene in the UK is kind of strong, and you have kind of people like Shabaka Hutchings, you have Nubaya Garcia, and people like that, and it's rising. But you had also people like Jason Rebello in the past, and Courtney Pine, of course. So now, where do you see yourself in that?
Where do I see myself in that? Well, I mean, the London scene is massive, and so what you see, what comes out of London into Europe is such a small part of what is in the UK, out of the city. So where I don't know how to answer the question where I see within that, but not sure. How do you?
You have been in London for how long?
I've been in London since 2008. 2008 I've been in London.
So a lot of time to kind of check out what's on?
Absolutely. And the great thing about London is that because there are so many genuinely world-class musicians, so the overall jazz scene is great, but there are lots of sub-scenes within the scene. So like the musicians you mentioned earlier, some come from the same scene, some come from different scenes, but and we do link, of course, in the city and play with each other, but there's such a massive variation of artists and just particular genres within jazz that come out of the city.
Yes, and again, where do you see yourself in there?
Oh man.
Is it experimental? Is it like more melodic? Is it more groovy orientated?
Sure, well I think I place a massive priority on the experience of the audience. So it is more. It's about having strong melodies. So some of it is strong melodies. Sometimes it's a bit cinematic. There's some rock influences. It's kind of contemporary jazz mixed with rock with some cinematic moments mixed with some almost classical influences as well. But it kind of comes out of how when I was much younger, even before I played the trumpet, I wanted to be a singer-songwriter. So I was sitting at the piano singing songs, and it was just a way to emotionally express, and like a bit like for me at least, when I was listening to a singer sing, I would be hearing the lyrics and I would be wanting to understand what they're singing about, but then I would be making it about me. I'll be wanting to relate to it emotionally, and that's kind of what I want to bring to this instrumental music, in the way that I want the audience to listen, engage, follow the music, and then I want to draw in the audience so they engage with it and then relate it to their own experience. It's in the same way that you might if there are lyrics. But because there aren't lyrics, you could say it's even more accessible because they're not confined to the specific meanings.
I mean, many people have teachers who kind of are mentors too, who kind of are guidelines, and there are kind of universities where you can meet them.
Yeah. What
about you?
Well, education.
Yes.
Sure. So, I mean, like, in summary, I was always into music. So from the age of 3, I was just sitting at the piano playing. Then in my house, my parents said, you got to learn an instrument. You got to learn one musical instrument. And so I then started doing piano, but then I really didn't like being told what to do so much. And so I was always more into improvisation and composing. And then eventually, long story short, I got into the trumpet and I immediately just enjoyed the challenge of it. The trumpet's really hard, but I found it kind of like an addictive challenge. So I did a lot of the classical stuff. And then as I progressed through getting to the age of kind of 16, 17, I then started to take jazz very seriously because I was always drawn to composing and improvising. And then so after that, I auditioned for conservatoire in London, the Guildhall School of Music and Drama. So I then did the 4-year sort of jazz course in a serious way, I guess. And so that's when I moved to London. That's when I sort of got into the London jazz scene. That's when I met the incredible musicians that are around and had incredible teachers there.
Who were your teachers?
Okay, so I had, there were quite a lot. So there's a trumpet player called Nick Smart, incredible educator and trumpet player. I had, there's a guy called Robbie Robson, trumpet player. There's a pianist called Malcolm Edmondson. We also had a lot of visiting masterclasses from people like Joshua Redman, Christian McBride, Jason Robello, John Schofield. Like, there's a long list. Like, it was an amazing place to be with a lot of incredible teachers. Like, a lot of these teachers, they might not be very established. Not a lot of them, but some of them might not be very established musicians, but they're incredible educators, and that's an amazing thing.
I was wondering about people, the trumpet masters from the UK.
Sure.
Do you have some in mind now?
Sure. I mean, there are lots. Do you know Percy Persglove? So I think he moved to Germany, right?
He's in Hamburg. He's with NDR Big
Just
Band.
Up the road,
yes.
Right? But he's
living in my neighborhood.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow. But he's phenomenal. Like, he's a very nice man, and he's an incredible trumpet player. There's Steve Fishwick. I don't know if you know. The thing is, in London, I'm not just saying this because I'm living in London, but like, really, there are, in a very real sense, like, some of the world's best musicians are there. It's a real thing, but they don't get the exposure or the exposure outside of the UK. Whether it might be just because they're not interested in it, which is fine, but it's also because it can be quite difficult to export financially the music to tour. It's a difficult thing to make it work.
You have recorded an album called Defector.
The Defector.
So maybe you can tell us about that one.
Sure, okay, so the latest album is called The Defector, and it's kind of inspired, it started off being inspired by stories and research I got into about people that would escape their country from oppressive regimes, dictatorship, which is obviously quite a extreme example of the defector. But I was always, I've been talking to people in lots of different countries, and when they see the defector as the word, they see it in quite a negative way. But I always saw it as a very positive thing. Like, it's not, because they might translate it as being like the deserter or the traitor even. But I always see it as a very positive thing to go against something for something better. And so for this album, I was thinking of the defectors from like North Korea maybe, but then the different types. So like a soldier deserter, or a politician that goes against their party, or even like a partner in an abusive relationship for them to escape. And so that level, I can't relate to that incredible level of moral courage and bravery, but I still find it very inspiring. And it kind of relates musically to me in the sense that I was giving myself permission, I guess. Like, going through the educational establishment in the jazz world is an important and very helpful thing, but to then, I guess, go back to pre-music college when I was singing songs, writing music, I'm using what I've learned from music college and then combining it with that same sort of real emotional expressive intent is the goal.
Yeah, some powerful music, it seems.
Well, I hope so. I want to draw in the audience. I like to think that it might be underneath the surface, it might be fairly complicated in terms of harmony and stuff, but I'm not interested at all in the audience thinking this is complicated. I'm interested in the audience being like drawn in to the melodies, being drawn into the narrative, rather than it being some academic exercise.
Have you been touring all over? European?
Yeah. So we've been touring in the UK, where obviously, and then we've been to Serbia, went to Belgrade Jazz Festival, a couple of gigs there, made a small tour there, went to Romania, been to France a couple of times, we've been to Spain. What am I missing out?
time to hit Germany, right?
It is German time. Germany time. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Germany is that we had some really nice reviews from the previous album and this album from Germany. So I want to actually be here physically to perform and tour, definitely.
So thank you, Henry Spencer, and welcome. I mean, we're looking forward to hearing you here, and tomorrow at Jazzahead.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
When I stand up